Give it a second.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. What is going on? We are live right now, Ryan, and it is another exciting episode of
Bamboozled,
where we explain to you how you've been lied to, tricked, bamboozled by the government, by media, and now tonight we're going to talk about big tech. We're going to talk about some seriously shocking bamboozlement that we've seen on the big tech, and you will see it right here tonight on Bamboozled. So welcome, Ryan. Any housekeeping for tonight? Anything you want to go over and get started with?
Yeah, appreciate it, Jason. And it's going to be a very exciting episode tonight because we have some real life experience that we're going to be sharing. And there's a lot of things happening right now within the big tech industry of questions being asked. But before we get to that, we first of all want to thank everybody around the country that was involved in the nationwide Freedom March last weekend. It was a huge success. We had some really great events all around the country, and it was peaceful. I really want to highlight that because in the midst of things like what we see happening down in Philadelphia right now, Jason,
yeah,
it was peaceful across the country with the American Patriot Council's nationwide Freedom March. And so it's very important that that we highlight that, and a big thank you to everybody that helped make that a huge, super successful event. And yeah, very, very, very good. We've got a few different donations that have come in recently to the American Patriot Council. You know, it's helpful for us to be able to continue to do things. We were preparing for the nationwide Freedom March. We were giving a lot of money to Facebook until they took us down, right, Jason, running those ads. And yeah, life is good. And thank you for everyone being part of it last weekend. We have more coming up in the near future, so stay tuned to see exactly what our next move is going to be together in Michigan and across the country, right, Jason?
Yeah, guys, the next move is bigger than any of them yet. We've got some really big stuff. That announcement may come in the form of a special edition. It may pop up out of nowhere. You might see a sign on the side of the freeway or a billboard. We don't know how that announcement's going to be made, but it's big. And when it happens, you're going to want to be a part of it. I need to remind you of something right now. As you know, tonight's show is about big tech. Yes, thank you, Chad. Great job up north. Thank you to all of you who helped make the event possible last week. It was a success, and it was peaceful, and that was good. But I want to mention, we have to fight big tech, and the only outlet we have right now to do that is this one. So please copy and paste this link. We'll keep doing some announcements for the next minute or two. If you want to share that link to some friends via text message, whatever you can do to share this out, share it on your own channel. Click the like button. Please click the subscribe button. YouTube's where it's at right now. If you're watching from Periscope, awesome. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you guys help us grow our audience here, because the messages that we have are super important. Super, super important. A lot of you, and this will kind of roll right into it, Ryan, a lot of people, including yourself, including me, have been shut down on Facebook. Last Friday, we saw, what was it, like 50 people simultaneously shut down, all of which were actually running an event. And then Facebook sent out notifications, is that right, to let everybody know that the event was canceled?
Let's talk a little bit about that. That's so bizarre to think that would ever even be a thing, Jason. You know, the American Patriot Council on Facebook, our Facebook page was shut down. That's been a few weeks now. And our personal pages, Jason went first, and then they took down my page after that. There was zero explanation, right? They didn't explain anything to us. The pages were just poof, gone. And so we saw that censorship, and we knew that censorship was happening. We had all these different events planned as far as locations for the nationwide Freedom March, right? We had, I think there was probably close to 40 of them that we had event tabs, in the 30s for sure. And those were all taken down. And then as we got closer to the event, they started sending out Facebook on behalf of the American Patriot Council, sent out event cancellations to maybe those that had been included as going or interested on one of those pages. We have screenshots to prove it as well. This event has been canceled. Like, no, the event was not canceled. So seeing that censorship. And then, yeah, we got phone calls from many of the leaders around the country last week, Friday. I was shut down. My page was disabled, taken down. Facebook did everything that they could do in order to make sure that the Nationwide Freedom March was not able to be live streamed. They didn't want any type of publicity where the actual network of people is at. And we know where that is at. It's on Facebook. It's on Twitter. That's where people are at. That's the media source that they all go to.
Now,
and we saw that they all got taken down at the same time.
I want to point something out, though. A lot of people were very discouraged by that. And of course, it's disparaging when your message needs to be out there. Like right now, I know had they not deleted us on Facebook, we'd have 100 or 2 people watching already. And I know it's very discouraging, very disparaging, but understand this. When they are trying to shut you down, you are doing something right. Because in the media, big tech is run by the same people that run MSNBC and CNN, and it's the same group of people that are running these things. And so when we get shut down, understand we are winning. But the way to continue to win is to do it guerrilla style. Like, this is our way. This is our little online protest right now. Share this out. Share it to some friends. Help us grow this audience, because we know that we bring valuable information. We get feedback, we ask, and if you want to hear about something, let us know as well, because we do take feedback from those that watch and those that participate with us, because you guys are the reason we do this, is to educate and help you spread the word and give you a platform to spread the word about what's been going on. Ryan, we found some pretty crazy stuff. We've got a source who was able to get into Facebook and get some screenshots, and they're pretty crazy, because I want to show you real quick what was actually the reason they took us down. Okay. They took us down. Nikki.
Hey.
They took us down.
How you doing?
And I'm going to share my screen with you. And I just want you to see, this is all stuff that came up when you type in, just Google American Patriot Council. But this right here, where it says "We want you" and on the right side of the screen, that is the reason that Facebook took over probably upwards of thousands of people off of Facebook based on that photo right there on that ad. So I'll show it to you one more time, because I just want you to see that ad, how terrible it is, right? This ad is the reason that everybody who actually had that ad on their Facebook got deleted. Anybody who hadn't been deleted got deleted Friday night at midnight. We started getting a ton of text messages and phone calls like, hey, they took us off. And then beyond that, we got text messages with notifications that were being sent out to people that our event had been canceled. Facebook was actually going against our event and canceling it out. And we were called, we're always going to be called stuff like that, right, Pam? We were called dangerous gun-toting militia and this and that. But I want to get into what we saw on Facebook. It's pretty shocking, Ryan. Anything you want to say about that before we get into these pictures and these screenshots?
I do, actually. Excuse me, I do. And bear with me for just a second here too, Jason and everybody. I want to share a little bit of a story. As we get into this next segment, I want to ask a question in relation to what we're seeing now with Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey and Alphabet Incorporated, the Google people, as they meet with the Senate, and they're being questioned in regard to election interference. Are they being, heavy one way or the other to try to influence the election. And I want to just bring up a question for everybody. And I want you to think about this here for a second. When we talk about the 2016 election, we had questions that were asked, oh, Russia's interfering with our election here in the United States. China's interfering with our election here in the United States. So I have a question to ask. Now, short of, I don't know what, Russian agents going to the polls and talking with voters and trying to persuade them one way or another. How is Russia affecting the individual's ability to vote, right? What information is a Russian agent or whatever is through this whole Russia's interfering with our elections talk is affecting that Beth that goes to the poll, right? Bill that shows up to vote. Versus the question I ask is that same Beth or same Bill, where do they spend a lot of their time when it comes to the social world, right? You're on Facebook, right? So if I'm giving you certain information on Facebook and it's right in front of your face, it's right there. You're looking at it, you're watching it, you're reading it, right? You're seeing the videos. Or on the flip side, you're not seeing certain information. Like when we talk about this whole thing with Hunter Biden, all of these things that are being exposed with the Biden, scam that they have had going on for decades now, right? If you don't get exposed to that information, is that more impactful to how someone's going to vote in an election if they don't have all the facts? Because Beth is not able to see that, right? Bill is not able to know exactly who this Joe Biden guy is and what his family's up to. So when we say, is there election interference that happens on social media? That's where people go. If that is not delivering just whatever the truth is and let you filter through what you think is true, the right information, what's interfering more then, Jason, is my question. Is it the Russian agent that had some sort of secret deal going on behind in the back end? Or is it...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, no, you got my point.
Yeah, I can't remember who the senator was in the hearings yesterday, but it was a great point that I know earlier in the hearings, Ted Cruz had asked, and he asked all of them. He said, do you feel your platform can influence elections? And the answer from Zuckerberg and what's his name, Dempsey, was no, right? No. I mean, come on, guys. But anyway, later on, another senator said, well, let me ask you this. You don't feel, and he made them re-answer, like reaffirm, do you still say that your platform can't affect elections? And they said, well, no, I don't. No, our platform can't affect. So then he said, well, then how can the Russians use your platform?
Interesting.
To affect elections?
Boom.
I mean, it really doesn't make sense that it would go that way. Hey guys, I want to give a couple shout outs. I don't usually do this, but man, we are starting to get some viewers and we need you guys to continue to share, send text messages, whatever it takes. We really appreciate it. Thank you much. Mike, thank you. Mike Detmer.
Hey, Mike. Hey, brother.
Diane, thank you for jumping on. Kim, awesome to see you. Awesome to see you. Jane, always thank you so much, Jane. You were a huge help last weekend with security. Really, really good job. Thank you so much for that. And you and all the others, if any of you are watching. Drift King, thanks for watching. You guys, we really, really do appreciate all of you. So I just wanted to give some shout outs. And again, I know we ask a lot now. We never used to. But we need your help getting this out guerrilla style. It's just got to be shared, whether it be by text message, by more YouTube, Periscope. If you're watching, click the subscribe button. That helps us create relevance with other people as well. And Ryan, that was a really good point to get back to what we were just talking about. If it either can or it can't affect elections, right? It either can or it can't. You can't say, well, we don't affect elections, but Russia used us to affect the election, right?
Yeah,
it's one or the other. So
I think that social media, where people are at, where people are sharing information, doesn't affect or influence how people act and behave. I mean, we're talking about very, very basic stuff here, right? And so the answer is absolutely, absolutely. Facebook is a place, Twitter is a place that can affect how people receive information and ultimately how they vote. And really, the lack of information is more impactful than having information, because information can come in all sorts of ways. It can come in the form of lies. It can come in the form of, misdirections. If you don't have the right information, like when we talk about the New York Post, right? I think lots of people know the fact that New York Post's Twitter account was taken down. They weren't allowed to share the information about Hunter Biden. Yep. And that was fact. That was fact. And it was taken down. And so
that's exactly why it was taken down. That is
going to influence how someone perceives Joe Biden. They might want to change their vote if they find out, oh my gosh, they did what? I'm voting for Trump, because that's in direct violation of your oath to this country.
Absolutely. And I guarantee you, I mean, a lot of people that were on the fence, if that's even possible in this election, but we know it is, if there was a lot of people on the fence, that could have been the decision maker right there. The fact that they waited 2 weeks to post the original story about Ukraine, and then another week to allow, and the only way to get it posted was they had to go in and follow instructions. It was really interesting to watch that in the hearings. But I want to, without further ado, Nikki, do you want to read your headline there at the bottom of the screen?
Alert: Facebook is being used to plan riots across the country with impunity.
Whoa. Guys, they still have pages up. So like we said a minute ago, guys, we have a source that has been helping us out. Denver Communists, as you see there, is a page that is still active and is planning riots around the country. Yes, you heard that correctly.
This is just one of the pictures, and it doesn't take a lot of explaining here. These are phone screenshots. Our source is on the fly getting me what he can get me. But look at this. We've got racism everywhere. I mean, on these pages, this one is from Black Lives Matter Portland. And I'll tell you, if any of you still have access or have a friend that has access to Facebook, go look up Black Lives Matter Portland. And they are literally planning riots on this Facebook page. Now, remember, we got taken down for posting Nationwide Freedom March all over the internet and paying for ads to do so, that the ads were getting slowed down instead of sped up when we paid for them. But you can go ahead and be racist. You can plan riots. The Heartland Anti-Fascist, or Antifa group, is up. They've got a lot of really interesting stuff on there. I mean, these guys, here we got a guy with a bag of money. Let's stab him with a spear. Why don't we do that? We can stop paying rent too. Why don't you stop paying your rent? I mean, those people with money, they don't need you to pay their rent. Their kids don't need to eat. Let's just create anarchy, and let's keep going. Oh, here, thank God for dead soldiers. Let's move on from that one. I can't even leave that on my screen very long. Much of the world is at this moment is a laboratory searching for the cure for capitalism, and the social scientists running the experiment are in the streets. Take to the streets, people. Let's plan some riots. Denver Communists, this is their homepage. You guys want to go check this out. It's still up. It's still live. I'm not, though. I'm not, right? Nick, Ryan doesn't have an account. They deleted 50 people last Friday night simultaneously, and thousands before that around our event. Here you see one of the most fascist dictators ever. Here, Philly goes to the polls. Here's their voting plan.
Wow.
Let's go out there and burn a city to the ground and murder people. That sounds good.
You notice they have that even on there, burn the ballot booths. Did you see that?
Join us tonight.
Yeah.
As we read, discuss, and apply linen. So you can join them. You can't join us at a freedom rally with a bunch of American flags and sing the national anthem and say the Pledge of Allegiance. But if you want to go ahead and join Lenin discussions and learn how you can overthrow the American government, that's good. Here, they're asking for amnesty for anybody who's involved with Antifa or BLM or any of those quote protests. Now here, this is what's so funny. All over their page, they want you to vote for Biden. But this is harm production, and this is how you reduce harm. You burn down cities, you fight with police, and you march and destroy, cities all over the place. I mean, I can go on, and maybe I'll come back to this. But what impression do you get about Facebook when you see, Ryan, Nikki, when you see what's going on here? I mean, do you think anybody get the feeling maybe
bamboozled? What part of Facebook specifically? That's why it was so an easy thing for me being as active and positive as I am. Like, they have an events category. You can create this. Here's this group. I had all these events going and would check the calendar week by week and take the old stuff off and see what got closed down due to the whole COVID scandal or what was still going on. And it's just, oh my God, it's insane. How is social media not used as a platform? We see it, like, it's evident. It's in your face. Clearly, if you're an American and you're not out here burning, looting, murdering, raping, there's a new word, raping, pillaging, beating up old people when they cross the street, trying to stab babies and drink their blood. If you're not out here, like if you're, a Christian, if you're a spiritual person, no, we don't want that. We can't have that anymore. Nope, we got to go tear something down. I'm not tearing anything down. I came to Allendale. There was a guy, and he was like half my size. I mean, y'all, I'm not that big, but I will jack you up if I need to. This man had an Antifa, like a little flag on his back, and we were walking. I was walking with my family and a friend that tagged along with us. What's up, Tom? And so he was like staring at me, and I'm not one of those people to back down. I was totally staring at him like, okay, are you going to do something? You going to say something to me? Like what? Like, so men just want to attack women? Like he wanted to start something with me? Like what? He has no sense. He has no manners. Did public school teach him nothing at all? That's crazy. But on social media, I'm sure his account is still alive and well, even though some of the marches were canceled, like the march in Seattle didn't go too well because, as far as I know, Joshua, he got kicked off.
He did.
But what we didn't know until a couple days ago, Nikki, is that when people got kicked off Facebook, all the people that were going or interested in their events got a notification that the event was canceled.
Ooh.
So, and I don't want to sit here and whine and cry because I think the event was a major success. I think we really kind of came out in force, and when I say force, I mean in a good way, with smiles and happiness. But I want to show you what you're seeing. The event was, the question was, does anybody know where we can find out where these riots are happening? Well, try searching hashtag Portland protests on Twitter. There's usually at least one or two accounts with updates each day, so you can know where to go and burn your city down and murder patriots. Now, I don't know, Ryan, if maybe you can pull it up, or Nikki, or I can look for it too, but I don't know how many of you saw the Tucker Carlson interview where he showed the assassination of that Trump supporter. Did you see that?
Oh my God, I didn't see that.
That's been a few weeks back now. He was a prayer patriot. And yeah, he was shot openly in the streets, and then they continued to, very sad to even talk about this. The BLM group, the Antifa group, actually celebrated it. They cheered about being able to take out one of the bad guys, right, is how they look at it. And man, if that doesn't just tell you right there,
turns my stomach.
Yeah, which side is which, as we approach things peacefully, as we want to solve things in a way that is aligning with the United States Constitution, right? I'm going to use a little time here to insert the American Patriot Council's mission, and that is to restore and sustain a constitutional government in the United States of America. That doesn't go for just one or two of the amendments. That doesn't go for just, a couple of people. That goes for everybody. And that goes for all of the amendments. And it goes for the entire Constitution. And, it's something that we've gotten very far away from. And it's a very sad thing. But You know, we see all this censorship, and at what point do the entire nation feel bamboozled about this? Because that's really what it is. For those guys to sit in front of the Senate, to sit in front of these elected officials being asked the questions about election interference, and for them to answer no, that is total bamboozlement, 100%. And we're getting ripped off by social media, guys. We're getting ripped off by these guys.
Yeah, it's sickening on all accounts. Another thing that happened, and this was just in the 2-minute walk it took us, because we were basically bringing up the end of the march, and we were crossing the parking lot where the sheriffs were, because that's where, like, I'm not sure what groups they were, but wherever the sheriffs were, this lady, and she clearly was on the other side, and she actually, because I walked right past her and I glanced at her, but I didn't stare. I don't stare anything with anybody. And she actually said out of her mouth, "Where did you guys park at?" You know, it's really tough when you're not the type of person to back down, because you're standing for your country. I'm standing for my children. I'm standing for my mother, my father. I'm standing for everything that's real. I'm standing for my friends, family. I'm standing for everybody that wants me to, doing my best to represent. And then you have someone, I mean, from being stared at to actually someone said that like 2 feet away from my children, "Where did you park at?" To be a peaceful person, to represent the American Patriot Council, to represent America, to represent my family, to represent me, that was extremely difficult. Because all I wanted to do, I think y'all have a clue. I mean, seriously, like, I'm from the streets. Like, I've seen people get murdered. I've seen everything. And it's like, you know something, we drove for 2 hours in the name of peace. I'm not going to sit up here and mess my day up because that's what they want to do. They're sickening. And
so we had a question.
It's crazy.
I wanted to answer. Diane said, "Can this be forwarded to the FBI?" Absolutely. We're on that action already. The screenshots, the things that we found are absolutely going to our contacts at the FBI and the DOJ, and we're going to keep pushing. That's what we need your help with too, by the way. Go to the American Patriot Council website, okay? Go to the website and go here to the petition, right? And this is one way you can help. Let me screen share this a second. This is one way you can help. If you go to the American Patriot Council, just go to americanpatriotcouncil.org. Somebody put that in the comments, please. And you can fill out the petition to get these three arrested here, Dana and Gretchen and Jocelyn Benson, and to point out all suspects are innocent until proven guilty, including the people they're accusing now of whatever they're accusing them of, some trumped up plan to kidnap the governor or whatever they're coming up with. Make sure you go here.
There real quick, if I could, Jason. Now the articles are coming out that it wasn't just Gretchen. There was a whole big long list of things that they're finding now. So Gretchen gets her thunder stolen away from her. It wasn't all about you, Gretchen. Sorry, the plan was bigger than that, right? And there wasn't even a plan probably in the first place.
No.
Yeah, it was most likely one guy from an FBI informant or some kind of paid person went in there and convinced some guys to have a conversation, and the conversation was taken as a plot, and now here we are, and that's probably all going to come out in the mix. But go to americanpatriotcouncil.org, fill out the petition. Add also, if you guys go, and while we're here, let's take a look at the watch list. Add people to the watch list. If you suspect somebody of committing criminal offenses, here we got Kamala Harris out there. I know Mark Zuckerberg was added to the list 3 times now, and there's only one person that has the ability to take him down, except for whoever keeps taking him down. I don't know why that keeps happening. He's been added 3 times now to the list, and he keeps getting taken back down by somebody who shouldn't have access to do that. But nonetheless, we have all of these people pending and confirmed. We'll take a look at it. Once we confirm the person, then what we'll do is we will once they're confirmed, we'll send over the information that we have. So please include criminal codes, anything else you can come up with that'll help us send that to the FBI, the DOJ. The more information you can give us, the quicker we can confirm and send that stuff over to our contacts, because that's how we can do this. You guys can help us put public pressure on the DOJ and the FBI and the authorities to go and make these arrests. You know, once we get one arrest, all it takes, it doesn't matter if it's Whitmer or if it's Wolf or if it's Como or if it's Newsom. It doesn't matter which one goes first.
Yep.
But what does matter is that one goes, because when one does, they all do.
Like
domino. It's just the way it's going to go. And guys, we're being heard. Facebook wouldn't have went to the pains to actually specifically eliminate anyone who shared our event and then send out notifications if we weren't doing something that they didn't want to be done, right? So keep that in mind and make sure that you're taking part in these things. The website's there for you to help with. But I want to talk about what these things, when you have these riots, right? We just showed a whole bunch of screenshots that we got from a source, and that source, by the way, it took him about 25 minutes to take all those screenshots. It wasn't like he had to search high and low. Yeah, there is hate and planning of riots all over. But I want to go back and show you Minnesota. Okay, I want to show you Minnesota and show you what it looked like in Minnesota and what happened. You're going to want to see this. This is going to be a few minutes of video, but you want to watch this, what happened in Minnesota, and just take a look at what happens when Facebook allows this type of thing, Ryan, Nikki, to happen on their platform. So let's take a look here. I'll mute myself so you can't hear the echo.
Minneapolis police officers told state senators today that they were prepared to die to protect the city's 3rd precinct, but were told to stand down. The testimony came during a hearing held by a Senate committee looking into the lawlessness of the riots and the responses of state and city leaders. Minneapolis city leaders made the unprecedented decision to abandon the police station on Thursday, May 28th, in the midst of protests over the death of George Floyd in police custody.
I have family that lives not even a mile from here. I use university as a young boy. My very first job was McDonald's right here at the corner. So it stings a little different when you watch your neighborhood that you grew up destroyed. And I'm here to tell the truth and the whole truth. And the truth is, the leaders of Minneapolis failed Minneapolis. We would have gave the ultimate sacrifice before we gave up our building. That's what we stand for. That's what we put out in the street every day. Officers are well aware that somebody could have lost a life there. And I guarantee you would not find one Minneapolis cop that wouldn't have sacrificed their life to save that building. This state had the resources to defend the building. They weren't given it. The mayor, the council, and our governor did not act in a timely manner, so this wouldn't even happen. This was grossly underestimated in the world. Watch what happens when you're not prepared. We had the resources. If we utilized them, we wouldn't even be discussing this right now, because the 3rd precinct would have never fell.
To know that they could have died because we were not allowed to respond the way that we have been trained to respond to these situations. To hear our leadership talk about that we're using too many munitions, too much gas, it looks bad. Let's just give them the
That's it right there, isn't it? It looks bad. They're all worried about saving face and keeping power so much more than saving lives and saving cities and keeping the order and the law and order in America. And what you see is cities burnt to the ground, police officers that have given their entire everything to this job lose their precinct, lose their ability to do their job. Because you think ever they're going to have the same ability to do their job in Minneapolis? Maybe, but if they do, it's going to take a lot of action.
A lot of action in a lot of years. When do you think that cities like Minneapolis, cities like Portland, Oregon, cities like Philadelphia now. When do you think that these cities are going to be thriving metropolitan areas again? Places like Seattle, Washington, right? It's going to be years before these places turn back into what they once were. Jason, you and I were talking before this show, and just something for everybody to think about this watching. Think how much different of a world it was Thanksgiving 2019, right, Nikki?
Oh my God. Completely different.
Look where we're at now, right? The hand of communism being pushed down on the United States, right? Cities destroyed everywhere across the country in the name of what? In the name of peaceful protests, in the name of a bunch of lies. Because if we're going to be censored for telling a different side of the story, because we don't want that story getting out, we want this one narrative to be pushed, right? There's bamboozlement right there, right? It's bamboozled people so much that this is the fun part. I think people, they've tried to bamboozle people so much that Trump is going to get overwhelmingly elected again. I don't even think the Democrats are going to be able to cheat enough to not get Trump reelected, right? That's the good news here, is that patriots across the country do see what's going on. Even I don't know if the thing is mild patriots, but the ones that kind of just want to fit in or whatever, but they love the country and they want to see just the return to peace and the opportunity to thrive. Trump is going to get a ton of support because of this. So if anything, all of this craziness that's happened this year will turn into good things as well, as long as people like us and everybody that's watching, that's part of the American Patriot Council, continues to talk and be a strong voice to continue to get the truth out there. Because like you said, Jason, guerrilla style, we just got to keep pushing, right? When adversity hits you, no matter if it's in business, if it's in parenting, if it's in marriage, when adversity hits, you either find a way to derive a solution and power through it, or give up and lose everything. And the American Patriot Council, the ones that love this country, will absolutely not let that happen in the United States of America.
Hey, listen, and that, to bring that up, I left this comment on the screen for just a second. This is from Charles Langworthy, and I wanted to give him a shout out. Charles is in my district in Clinton Township, running for Congress. He's up against Levin, and he's got a real chance to win. This guy has been grassroots from day one, knocked probably 100,000 doors himself, and that's really how he won the primary against an establishment candidate. This guy is somebody, if you're in the 9th district, you've got to vote for him. You've got to get him in. We've got to get him. We also got to get John James elected, because John James we got to take out Peters as well. Those would be two huge seats. Levin and Peters, longtime liberal voices against Michigan, can be taken out with this election. So, Charles, thanks for watching the show, and make sure, if you're in the 9th district, that you get Charles, get a vote for Charles in there. Trust me, I've known him now for quite a while, and I believe he'll do a great job in Washington. That said, you saw the other headline I was just sharing, and I won't share it for very long, but I'm just going to read it for you. Philadelphia police told to stand down and make 0 arrests. Now, fortunately, Ryan discovered a little while ago that there are some federal arrests being made. Is that right?
Yes, I saw in the Philadelphia area, there's an article. You can just search Philadelphia riots. It comes right up on Google there, or whatever search engine that you use. And it looks like they're starting to circle back and arrest some of these people. Just a little side note here, as we talk about, restoring and sustaining a constitutional government in the United States of America. We do support peaceful protest, and whatever your reason or cause is, right? If it's a lawful action, right? We want to come back to that lawful actions are what makes a society thrive, right? And so if you think that, that the quote, right? Riots are the voice of the unheard, right? We need to find another way to express your actions, because burning somebody else's property, right, is not the answer, right? Coming and shooting people is not the answer. Coming and burning cop cars is not the answer. So, finding ways to, what was the point we were trying to make? I think I got off on a tangent there.
Well, I think what we're talking about is a grassroots movement here, and that's what the American Patriot Council has become. From Ryan calling me one afternoon, like, what do you think about this thing, to the next day having 12 individuals on a Zoom call getting ready to do the April 30th rally, which yeah, that was super surreal, that moment. To doing a rally last weekend all across the country, with people from Japan flying in to talk to us at our homes and in our offices to tell the story of what's happening in Michigan and around the United States and why it's happening. And so we are being heard. We are getting heard. Just a little few of us that are on this stream right now, we are making a difference. And it's not me, and it's not Ryan, and it's not Nikki, and it's not any one of you. It's we. It's a we thing, not a me thing. And we are making a difference here. And that's right. Maintain the Constitution. Somebody just put that in the comments. Maintain the Constitution. And yeah, we are making a difference. Keep going. This is what happens, though. And I want to get back to this, because we watch the overall thing and we say, is Facebook interfering in elections? Is Twitter interfering in elections? Well, when you take down a post from the New York Post, or you take down an article that's talking about real corruption, crimes, criminal activity, provable. Now, my question is, why have we not arrested these criminals yet? Like, are we gathering evidence? Can the people know something? Somebody tell me something, because these are criminals, and this criminal activity is shown, and it gets taken down, right? People put together a nationwide protest, and we, as you guys know, this year we did endorse Trump for the presidency. The American Patriot Council did.
Hey, Trump 2020.
Because we believe Trump has done a good job, and we believe he'll continue to do a good job. Right? So we endorsed him. Now, we've got a group that's going to bring out, potentially, had Facebook not taken my account down a month and a half ago, and Ryan's a couple weeks later, and all of those followers that we worked so hard to build so that we could do this, and a page that was getting, millions of clicks, in a month, hundreds of thousands of clicks and millions of clicks. This page was huge amount of interaction on. If they hadn't taken that down, we would have seen millions of Americans in the street, like the scenes we've seen in Germany and that we've seen in other places where they've gathered. And for them to do that, because imagine millions of Americans, how many Trump signs would have been out?
Exactly.
How many horns would have honked for Trump driving down the street? How many votes could have been won? I still think we're going to win by a huge landslide, but how many votes could have been won? This is election interference.
Exactly.
And to allow rioters to just have impunity and do whatever they want to do. For Klobuchar, Amy Klobuchar, she's a criminal. We need somebody that lives in Minnesota, add her to the list. So Amy Klobuchar, the mayor of Minneapolis, we got the mayor of Philadelphia now telling his police force, don't do nothing, let these people. Do you realize they're burning cop cars, they're assaulting, murdering? Oregon, we see people murdering a Trump supporter. And I couldn't pull the video up today. If you get a chance, I hate to tell you to go watch this, it's horrible. But at the same time, to get the idea of what's going on in Portland, this guy goes, I got one here. And you hear a gunshot like 2 seconds later. Here's another one. That's what he said. Not, I got one here. He said, here's another one. Gunshot goes off. Half hour later, there's a group going, another one of them MFers died. One of them Trump supporters died tonight. And they're all cheering and they're going, and this is being allowed. Guys, if we continue to allow this, then they are going to hunt us down. This is going to become another version of the Holocaust, or of what Mao did in China, or of what's happened so many times, Babylon to Israel, whatever. This is going to be that if we don't stand up, share these messages. We have the cooler, kinder heads here. Right now, what you're watching is more effective than shooting people in the street right now.
We're all targeted. Ryan, did you happen to mention the sign that some of the whatever that you want to call them, the other group, the sign that they had that was addressing you, calling you out of your name?
Ridiculous. We didn't talk about it, no, but yeah, a counter protest all just for me, right?
Yeah.
Very misinformed. And that's the thing with the other side too. And I'll share a little bit of a story. And I thought that this was just so interesting when I heard this. So there has been a lot of controversy wrapped around myself as a strong voice here in the township that I live in. Some people don't like me for that, right? Because I speak up and, I stand for what I stand for and I don't back down. So anyways, there was one of the guys that was talking with somebody in our group a few weeks back, and that same person that was in our group saw that person at the little counter protest. They were counter protesting freedom. Think about that one for a minute. Anyways, they walked up and talked with that person. All right. And this is really, really interesting, guys, because that person that was part of the Antifa group said to the person that was part of the Patriot group, when it was just the two of them, right? He said, you know what? Your group just seems so happy. You guys are just so high energy, right? It's like you have just a really positive thing. And this group over here is just kind of low energy and just kind of negative. Yeah, we know. We see it everywhere. Group is right. The BLM group, the Antifa group, of uninformed, misguided, emotionally acting group of negative people that I feel like we just need to continue to show them a little bit of love to a certain extent, right? I mean, that's kind of our job a little bit as Christians as well, is to try to show and I don't know. Is it lead them to Christ to a certain extent if they're not there, or is it try to show them that life doesn't have to suck like that, right? You can grab an American flag and you can wave it, and you can be a part of something that's positive. Anyways, I just wanted to share that little comment when you're talking about the counter protest for me. That came from one of those people on that side, and that's what I see. I mean, there's so much hate coming from that side, right? We, like you said a second ago, Jason, we come from a place of love, right? We come from a place where, we want to share love with people, and we want to, have people thrive in life and have the opportunities. And there's just so much hate from the left, man. And that's really what it is. It's the alt-left, these alt-left elected politicians that continue to feed into that. And these uninformed, misguided groups that are just out there trying to cause chaos, damage, and they're really just living a sad life. And it sucks for them.
I wanted to put this up. Somebody just sent this to me. One of a member of APC in Raleigh, where the authorities actually shut their permit down and took their venue last minute with 2 hours or so before the event, and shut everything down. Now they're allowing tomorrow night, this night of mischief, whatever that means, from the Black Lives Matter group. So I don't know why this constant bias against love and against truth, but I'll tell a story too, because where we were, the counter protest was located near the bathrooms. You guys remember that? So my son, who was with me, it was a family event, walked over to the bathrooms, and I thought better of it after he walked away. I'm like, I better go follow up on that, because he's awful close. They were awful close to the counter protest. There was probably 100 people, maybe 75 people at the counter protest. I'm not sure. But it's a life goal for me. It's funny, but at the same time, it shows the difference in what mentality. So my son walks out of the bathroom. One of them it was a porta potty. One of them notices me, and the lady shouts, "There's Jason Howland! There he is! He's a piece of..." And then immediately the whole crowd turns, and I'm so happy that this happened. I'll never forget it. The whole crowd turns immediately, like they had it planned. F Jason Howland. They used the whole word. F Jason Howland. F Jason. And I'm like, yes. But no, seriously though, it's like, look at the difference in mentality. They were literally there to hate Ryan, right? Or anybody that's connected to Ryan for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Without any knowledge of Ryan whatsoever. Antifa showed up. That was verified by NBC News. Actually, NBC treated us really good. They did a piece on the dueling rallies or whatever they called it, but they really gave us good press. They talked about Antifa was actually called in, that wasn't the local green hairs as we call them in Allendale. That was actually the Antifa was there. And it was funny because one girl, and this goes to what Ryan was saying, one girl came running when she saw me and my son, and I was actually talking with another couple of guys. There were some issues with people trying to get traffic through, but I was talking with a couple of our guys, and then this girl comes running up and she's like, "Hey, can we just have a quick conversation?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." Well, about 10 seconds into that conversation, and she genuinely wanted to have a conversation. So I know there's a thread there that we can pull on. There's some good people that want to see, love and justice. But anyway, as the conversation started, then suddenly one of the Antifa guys comes up and he's got his gun in the low ready, and he's like, "You better get to stepping." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't care how many guns you have.
In America, I don't.
But like, I was just like, dude, I don't understand this, And another really telling thing I thought that nobody's mentioned, not even the news, and I don't know if I really believe they didn't pick up on it because we've gotten some pretty good press from this, was that there was no sheriffs at our event, but there was about 25 sheriffs and deputies at the counter protest.
That's exactly where they were at, because we parked. We were kind of like off from the park, not the main area. And then we went around there, and then that was blocked. And exactly that, it was a lot of sheriffs. Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. Over here where you're like American and peaceful and spiritual and love God and everything, you're cool. But if you're over here just on some demonic, satanic, hate everybody type of thing, the sheriffs have a tendency to sit around and watch you. And my son can verify that, because he was like seriously watching the sheriffs, watching Antifa, watching these people. And I was like, isn't that funny? And my children were almost like, they were kind of like, my girls were kind of like, I don't know. And I was like, no, we're American. We came out here for this. We're going to bring up the end of the rally. Let's go. Let's march. And that's exactly what we did. And then I got interviewed. It was awesome. I had some pro-black, and I think John James and Candace Owen, and there's there's a few of us out here. I get called everything from Oreo cookie to wigger to white girl to this to that. It's called Haters Are Making Me Famous. I love it. Keep it coming.
That's it. There you go. If Marion's statement is perfect for what I was going to say here. If anybody out there thinks that the American Patriot Council, patriots in general, those that love this country, if you think that we're the dangerous ones, we're the lawless ones, right? You've been bamboozled.
Bamboozled.
100%, right? This show is for you, haters.
Haters.
100%. If you think that we're the problem, if you think we're the ones, the cops were at what event again, Nikki?
Exactly. They were over there with the Antifa idiots.
That's right, for sure.
And we were talking to some of them. We were thanking them for their service and how you doing. So that's why it was ironic when she was like, "Oh, where you parked at?" Because we had just talked to one of the sheriffs. And then 2 minutes later, "Where are you parked at?" I was like, "I think you should go over there and say that to him. Ask him where we're parked at."
And then back to Facebook. Guess whose event didn't get taken down?
Oh, wow. Don't need a crystal ball to figure that one out.
Ooh, right, for sure. Oh, there's no bias there, right?
No bias at all.
So I know we're getting close to the end of the show here. and we need to go ahead and wrap a couple of things up. So if we can get a couple of comments, we got quite a few people watching. If you could drop down in the comments, if you believe that Facebook and Twitter and Google and social media platforms, if you believe that they can affect the outcome of elections, if you believe that they have the ability to interfere with elections, then drop down in the comments and let us know, right? Do a little something, right? Whatever you want to say.
Good old
I
you.
just had an idea, actually, Ryan. What do you think? You think we could get with the internet guy and have a petition put on the site about that? You guys want to sign a petition requesting Facebook stop censoring our content?
Yeah, let's do it. Rock on.
You guys, I'm sure we could probably get that done if you would all agree to share this out and comment. Put a 1 in the comments if you're willing to sign that petition asking Facebook to give us fair treatment. We'll figure out exactly how to word it. It just came up, but I thought that might be kind of cool. But yeah, Kim, nobody's doing anything about it.
Someone's.
We gotta be, people say they're not doing anything. Well, we are they, like Ryan always says. We are them. We are the they that everybody talks about.
Right.
So let's be they and get out there and really do something and make a big difference. Guys, tonight's show was really great. I really appreciate all of you sharing it out and helping. Chad, I appreciate seeing you every week. Jane, same thing. Diane, Marion, all of you. Kim, so awesome to work with a lot of you. Pam, with the event last week and just so humbled to be a part of all that. But here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to let them win, right? We're not going to just say, oh, we don't have Facebook anymore, we can't organize. Oh, we don't have Facebook anymore, we can't get things done. We can. We can absolutely get things done. We can definitely make a difference. We have a few of you here, but if each one of you could talk one person into sharing the show with you and have them talk one person, just like we did with the events, this show could get huge. And then whatever we have that you guys need to talk about, it'll give us a voice, guys. And that's what I want to see. I know that's what Ryan and Nikki, I know you guys want to see the voice grow as well. So help out with that. Go to the website, participate. There's the watch list. If you've got an official that's been a criminal. By the way, the watch list is getting a lot of press. We had articles written about the watch list all the way out in Maine. Oh my gosh, our governor's on the watch list. Like, people are paying attention to that. So make sure you're putting your officials on there. If any of you are interested in possibly helping us research some of these, we could use a couple of researchers for the show to help us research the people that are coming in on the watch list and help us kind of do some of that. Let us know, send us a message or a comment, whatever it takes. Also, go to the website, check out the petitions, read the cases, and just know that if we can get one of these people, just one person held accountable for their crimes, it'll snowball and it'll change America drastically. Marion says she can help. Let's take note of that, Ryan.
Yeah, her and I talk often. Yeah, it is important, right? And we're going the route here to encourage the DOJ with all this information, right? As we get this information in on the watch list, as we put these cases together, this is simple stuff. I have a question here. If the Constitution is the supreme law of the land and the First Amendment says that you cannot abridge the right of the people to peacefully assemble, and whether it's a governor or the Department of Health and Human Services rolls out a regulation saying, guess what? Y'all ain't allowed to meet with each other. We're going to limit the size of the people that you can meet with to just a couple, right? If you take away the right of the people to peacefully assemble, Is that constitutional or is it not? Is that a violation of the oath of office or is it not? This is simple, basic stuff here, guys. Super simple stuff. And so, Constitution loving Americans like us, freedom loving Americans like us, responsibility loving Americans like us, because freedoms and liberties do come with a degree of responsibility as well, right? You don't just get to do anything that you want to. It comes with a degree of responsibility to make sure you're not infringing on other people's other people's freedoms and liberties. So, there is a little bit of, need for us to educate ourselves. And as a matter of fact, I'll just kind of plug here real quick. I think we're working on putting together, call it maybe constitutional kindergarten, right? Even for adults, right? Those basic understandings of what the Constitution means and the certain things. I know we've talked about them before in the past, Jason, like the Department of Health and Human Services with the illegal searches, just a foundational understanding of the Constitution. First of all, the government restrictions. The government is restricted in the Constitution of how they can act. Most people don't even know that.
People don't know that.
On top of that, your unalienable rights. If we say that you have an unalienable right of the right to people, you cannot abridge the right of the people to peacefully assemble. You don't take that away. You don't get to take that away. You don't get to abridge it. You don't get to shorten it. You don't get to have exceptions to it. Unalienable. Unalienable is a strong word. Look it up if you don't know the definition of unalienable. I'm not even going to share it with you because I want you to be surprised when you see how strong of a word unalienable is. And we need to get back to that. We need to teach people the responsibility that comes with freedom and liberty. We need to teach people the responsibility that comes with having your unalienable constitutional rights and empower people with that information. So that's all I'm going to say right now. I could keep going. I get fired up about this stuff.
As we wrap up, I want to show this again. This is the criminal watch list page. And Drift King, real quick, I wanted to answer your question too. We are working on putting together some sort of a class action or something against Facebook for that. So that is in the works. We're working on getting a team of attorneys or attorney together that can help us with that. That's something we've been working on. We don't have any concrete information. We will keep you updated though. Here is the list, right? But if you scroll down below the list, you see where you can do this yourself. I don't have to do it for you. Nikki doesn't have to do it for you. The web developers don't have to do it for you. All you have to do is go to criminal watch list, scroll down to the bottom, and you can actually enter your person in there. The one thing that I do ask is when you enter people into the criminal watch list, try to enter the criminal codes and the amendments that they've broken, because that gives us a place, or our researchers a place to start. Because if we don't have a place to start, it takes forever, which is why we're so backlogged on getting these confirmed. Because confirmed doesn't mean we can press charges. We obviously have to give people due process. But once they're confirmed, we can send certified letters to Attorney General Barr. We have our contacts at the DOJ and the FBI that we can start sending this information to. And one thing we know for sure, and this is a thing that we can hold them accountable for, is they have to look. They can't receive information on a case and not look at it. And if they figure it to be a felony and they don't press the issue, then they themselves become guilty of a 3-year felony as well. So this really can go somewhere. Has it gone anywhere yet? I don't know where they are at the DOJ or the FBI specifically at this moment. We have our communication, but what we do know is one of these is going to catch. One of these is going to be so obvious that they can't. I mean, I think some of them already are. That's another issue. But some of these are going to be so obvious that they can't deny it, and they have to indict. And when that happens, I guarantee you that it's going to snowball. And what would an America look like if politicians were held accountable for their crimes?
America, baby. That's what I'm looking forward to. Let's get it.
Is it too much to say we have a constitution and we want it upheld? We want leaders that take their oath of office seriously
and are held accountable when they mess up. And they're not just messing up, they've been messing up a long time.
And it's multiple times over and over and over again. And at what point do the people look at that and say, we're not going to fall to communism. We're not going to replace the U.S. Constitution with some other garbage
And
that is going to, for generations, put our kids into a place of slavery. That's what communism is. Anybody that thinks differently, right? Like, I'll have the conversation with you, and I challenge you to go live in China in their communist world, right? Be on the people end of the communism, not the leadership end of the communism, for 2 years, right? And let me know how you live it. Go live in Venezuela for a couple of years. Let us know how that works out for you.
We got to wrap this up, but I wanted to bring this on before we did. This you just reminded me of this. A democracy. You keep hearing the left say democracy. They're destroying our democracy. That's because their democracy is not America.
No.
When they say that, they know what they're saying and they mean it. We're destroying their democracy because democracy, everybody participates in every decision. Majority rules, which means bullying, which means riots, which means unrest. No protection against property, no protection for individual rights. That is not protected under democracy. This is what democracy looks like. Yeah, absolutely, this is what democracy looks like. And we don't want it. We want a constitutional republic governed by elected representatives, governed by established set of laws.
First law being the Constitution, the supreme law.
Yep, which protects our individual rights. It was written that way. But protection of property rights. It's ideal for large and diverse populations like the one we live in. Avoids extreme mobocracy, which is a mob rule or mob mentality, and tyranny. That is what a republic is. We don't want a democracy, guys. When they talk about we're ruining a democracy, yes, please, we want to ruin the democracy. We don't want a mob rule in this country. And that's what they're fighting for, guys. So understand that as we move forward, and also understand one last point, and I'm going to let Nikki take us out. This is what I want you to understand. The crap that's coming out of the Michigan Health Department is not enforceable. They know it. I know it. Ryan knows it. Nikki knows it. It is not enforceable, guys. They cannot make you give restaurants your name and number, which is the latest that came out today. They want restaurants to ask you for your name and number. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. But anyway, it is not enforceable, guys. You don't have to walk around with masks on. You don't have to walk around and give your name and number so they can trace you. You don't have to listen to the Health and Human Services Department, because he is an extension of the executive branch who's already been ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court of the state of Michigan. And that brings me to this. We are going to get together an effort to impeach Governor Whitmer, and that's our next big step. And we're going to put together an effort to do that. And when we do, we need you to understand she will be impeached very easily as soon as we can get our Congress to do it, because guess what? She was already ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, and not a little bit either. 2.5 months of unconstitutional law or fake laws written and enforced, and now she's still doing it, guys. She's using the health department. Guess what? The health department is part of the executive branch. We have a 3-branch government, judicial, that already decided you lost, Gretchen, and the legislators need to get off their duffs. Mike Shirkey, Lee Chatfield, get off your duffs, do your job, represent the people who put you in office, or you'll never see the inside of an office again, I promise. And that's the fact. So let's get this thing going, guys.
Violation of oath of office.
100%. Nikki, take us out.
Well, my fellow Americans, Christians, and people of different religious beliefs, it's not up to me for me to disagree or agree with you or what it is you think, what I think, how I feel. We were born in this country. Some of us weren't born in this country, struggled a long time, got here doing a lot better than where they were. It's up to us It's almost time to vote. Some of you have already voted. I haven't, because I'm looking forward to walking in with my gorgeous face out, because I don't do that mask crap. I can't wait for November 3rd. And that's awesome. It's scary and it's wonderful. But remember, some places you're not allowed to vote. Some places, children, they're eating out of garbage cans. There's adults, they can't get medication that they need. They don't have government. They have that democracy thing, or they're living under socialism or communism or Marxism, or all of it. It's crap. We're born in a free country, and we have a lot of work to do. That's true. But we have something called the Constitution, and we have to honor that. We have to honor the people that have been in the service, people that have given their lives, people that are active. We have a lot to do. And November 3rd, vote. I'm voting for my children. I'm voting for the people that stuck their neck out, so people that look like me could get a fair shot out here. And I don't mean welfare. I don't mean that crap. I'm talking about a fair shot to get out here and haul ass and get whatever it is you want to get.
I'm going to sign us off, but I have one thought on what Nikki said. When we win this election, don't stop. That would be the worst thing that could happen, is all this go away and no justice come for the people who deserve it. We have to push on, or this will continue to happen to us forever. Make today the greatest day of your life. We love you. Talk to you later.